the evening. There's one good thing about living on the land and having a pretty high hedge. It is that you can sit outside on a warm summer evening like today in your underwear and nobody cares. Another, strange thing on the countryside, at least where I live, is that to greet each other, or even if you leave, if you visited someone and then you leave with your car, you honk. And it doesn't matter what time it is. So this is something pretty annoying. Let's say you go to bed at maybe 10, 11. And then, all of a sudden, you waked up by someone honking their horn just to say goodbye. As if they would not do it already. They shake hands, they hug, and they say, well, yeah, we see each other then next week and so on. Okay, bye-bye, drive safely. All right. Then they go to their car, get in, but before they drive off, they honk. That's useful. But nonetheless, I tested out the system that we are using right now, and I got a new microphone. It's the Rode Wireless Me. It is mounted on the camera. That's the Sony a7s, and on myself, as you can probably see, because I cannot see myself. I do not know if I'm in focus or not, and this is what makes this camera, a bit unusable for vlogging. The a6000 didn't have a monitor that was fully articulated. Also, it hasn't. So I had to guess, but I believe the autofocus of the a6000 was better than on the a7s. At least from what I saw. It was quick, it was good, it was reliable. So when holding this camera with a 16-50, I knew, and I did not know, but I was pretty sure and I was faithful to be in focus all the time. And I was. Right now, I have no idea. It's way easier with the a6700 because it will not lose your face or your eye or whatever you dialed in. And also this is not stabilized. So we will see when I change the position how this works. But the look it gives us should be much better because now we're on the Zeiss Batis 25mm f2. And this lens should give us a pretty good image, despite me being in the picture, but it should be pretty good. And how's the sound so far? I set the dynamic to auto. So in theory, it should provide us with good audio levels, even though right now I'm talking relatively quiet. But even if I lift my voice a bit, right now I'm doing so, it should give no clipping audio, and I will see. I'm pretty eager to find out what I will see later in DaVinci Studio. We will see. But is this practical? You see, this camera now is on the GorillaPod. I think it's the extreme one. I don't know what extreme means in that case. Extreme unreliable, extreme flimsy, extreme nonetheless. I used this GorillaPod for quite some time, but not for its intended purpose, you see. Its purpose is a good three-legged stand. It is relatively light, and you can mount your camera wherever you want. Is that so? We will try out, because this stand, this Joby stand, should be enough for a heavy camera lens combination like the a7s and the Batis. I will mount it to my shitty fence and we will see if it withstands the forces of nature, right? We will see. When I think of the vlogs I did, I always wished that there would be the possibility to record low light video better. Because I had slow lenses, and I do not say that this Batis is particularly fast with f2. It's not. There are way better and way faster lenses for full frame than this. But I recorded these videos with a 3.5 to 5.6 on APS-C, 24 megapixels, totally cramped sensor. Did you hear that? You should not. But maybe you did. Some of my dogs, they realized that there's someone outside my hedge. So, and I imagined shooting video at night in cities, that it would look like how I saw it with my eyes. This is why I bought the a7s, to shoot video like that. And then I realized how damn heavy this system is. Years ago, I used way lighter lenses, and they would not give me what I wanted. And what also will not give me what I want is the face detection on this thing. I don't even know if it realizes that there is a face in the picture right now, because when I go here, I believe it will focus on something there. But maybe right now it is focusing on me still, which would be a miracle. But if I look directly into the lens, it should be all right. And I'm used to that. So when I carry this, like that, I should be in focus, even though I'm moving. But of course we're not stabilized. That means this footage could be kind of shaky. The a6000 had some stabilization in the lens, at least in the lens. But this has nothing. So now, how's that? Is that good? I will now mount it on my fence. And this is not a rant. Don't get me wrong, it's not intended to be a rant. Oh, now it's windy. Can we still hear something? Does the wind muff work? So right now, I will try to force this damn thing to fit into my fence. Oh boy. This is not... okay. I'm surprised. Looks good so far. I wish I would have an idea of how the frame is right now, but I don't. So either you buy a way more expensive camera, like for example the a7 IV or the a7C, I think it has an articulated screen. But I do not get why there is no articulated screen on these cameras. The first camera to have it in the S line was the a7S III. And this goddamn thing is so expensive still. Used, it's about $3,000. Used, still. And it's old, relatively old. There are other cameras, you can buy a new a7 IV for less than that, with a lens. It's not worth it in the end, you know. And it's something that people do. They always tend to buy the latest stuff. Always the latest stuff. But why? I don't see why. Of course I wish this thing would have an articulated screen, but well, I got a field monitor and so on. But this would make this thing much more heavy and more obvious, you see. Vlogging is not about everyone knowing that you vlog. And this is pretty big. It's a pretty bulky contraption. I don't know. Maybe I will try it out by doing a travel vlog with the thing, but I'm not sure. I think that the look will be better than on the other system, on the a6700 with the old cheap NEX5 lens 18-55. But it's so much heavier. You can compare it to a travel and you want to eat something, of course. So you could bring a lot of heavy stuff with you to cook you a nice meal that is exactly your taste. Or your reasoning tells you, well, it's not that important that I get the best food ever on my travel. But something to eat would be nice. Then you would pack some light stuff. At least you eat something, right? And this is enough. So, and it's kind of how this is, right? If you want to achieve the best image possible, you would need maybe a7S III with a pixel pitch of 8.45, Voigtlander 40mm 1.2 or 35 1.2, Thypor Chimera 35 or 28, something in that category, but manual lenses only. So, bye-bye vlog. Yeah. Of course you see yourself, but 28 is, no, it's not practical. Because you cannot focus correct. You have to extend it so far out. 35, forget it. So you would always have to put your camera somewhere, then focus on something next to you. And even then, it is not guaranteed that it would give you the right framing, picture and focus. It looks better, yes, but it's absolutely not practical, in my opinion. So let's say we throw out the champagne, yes, we throw out the truffles or the dark chocolate, and we stick to some bread, some cheese, yeah, you know, and this is what we get. I hope that these microphones will provide me with something good. I bought them to simplify it even more, so that I do not have an external recorder and a lavalier mic. I have to sync everything. I have to get the gain levels right. I have to turn it on, start recording, off. And I have to somehow switch on the hold button so that in my pocket, and it happened, something stopped the recording, and then you put it in your pocket, and sometimes you dial on the gain level, and then you have to clap so that you have a sync afterwards. I used to do it with 3 cameras at once and a recorder when I was making my cockpit videos. I had 3 perspectives and I was recording my radio, see, my correspondence with the tower and so on. And it was so much work. So if you want to vlog, you want to keep it simple, right? The more simple, the better. There's nothing wrong with that, having it simple. It's not always that complexity is better, right? It's not always. If you want to get a good shot of something, then the best way to get it is to keep it simple. So there is less room for mistakes that you could make or that your equipment could make. If the autofocus gets you, then you have a good chance of having a nice image. And this is the only other equipment I would use to vlog. Full frame and a 25 or better even 20 or 18 millimeter lens. 25, it's a bit narrow, I would say. It's about the equivalent. If you got an 18 millimeter, then it's about 27, and if you got a 16 millimeter on APS-C. So this will be 24, so it's between 16, like 17 millimeters on the APS-C. And the wider, the better for the vlogging, right? So this is the maximum that I would use. And this is pretty versatile. It would be good if the autofocus would be reliable, which it isn't. Of course it isn't. Because the autofocus with this camera was but what's easy is to cut this material when you record your audio directly into the camera. Don't use the preamp of the camera. This is garbage. Use the preamp of your microphone, of your Rode. I'm pretty confident that these microphones will simplify the working process, the productivity, because everything has to be productive, right? Nothing can be fun. Fun? Skateboarding for fun? No. You have to be productive. And this is something that is pretty wrong with society today. Despite vlogging and so on. That's okay. You're showing something. You're sharing something. Maybe you're sharing knowledge. But everything has to be a progress. Everything has to be a profession. It cannot be fun. When I was younger, or a child even, everything was fun. Everything. It was just for fun. And even when I was an adult, you had something that you were doing, like university or whatever. And then all these things were fun. Skateboarding, biking, whatever. Cameras, photography, fun. Now it is, I want to start photography. How can I get money from that? Money, how can I money? Everything is so serious, but this is bad. It should be fun, it should be a game, and so is vlogging. So instead of trying to get the best professional equipment for making some stupid vlogs like I do, I do not need professional equipment for that. Yeah, this is a bit stupid, I would say, and I was stupid. But what are we producing when we are vlogging? It is about the story we have to tell. It is not about the equipment. You do not need an Arri Alexa to vlog. You could though. Try to get a light setup. As light and as, well, as camouflaged as possible, I would say. And this is the maximum I would go for. Full frame camera and a wide angle lens. That's it. Just you have to have a grip in any, or some sort of grip. Maybe not the Joby, but there are a lot of good grips, a lot of good stands, and then go for it. Just produce, just see if people like it, and even if they do not like it. The most important thing is you like it. When you watch your own videos and you say, ha, that was funny, that was good, I had fun watching my video, then you're on the right path, because you cannot do these things for others and say, oh well, how can I blow up my channel? I have to blow up my channel from 0 to 500,000 subscribers in 2 weeks. It's an organically process, even if it happens either or not. So, but if you have fun, you wasted nothing. This is very important. Just have fun, go out there, make your vlogs, show the people your passion, and enjoy. And to let the people enjoy this, and yourself, choose a light setup. Won't break bank, won't break arm, and you feel free. And keep it as simple as possible. That's it for today.